Bajaj FinServ is taking up this initiative because we want to help our society. We want to help people, the youth, the children, to make them more independent and maybe transform their lives in certain ways. Today we have 40 beneficiaries who are, like I said, differently able. And Sancheti Hospital has helped find these beneficiaries who need this much more than others. A wheelchair which is designed specifically for them and their issues. And with that, another piece that you attach onto the wheelchair, and that makes them be able to get onto the roads safely. And I think that will really change these people's lives by letting them get out much more without being dependent on anybody else.
ती व्हीलचेअर भेटल्यानंतर मी आता माझा पोल्ट्री फार्म आहे, मी त्या पोल्ट्री फार्मवर जाऊ शकतो स्वतः या व्हीलचेअर घेऊन. पहिले जाऊ शकत नव्हतो आणि त्या व्हीलचेअर त्या कार्यक्रमामध्ये आल्यानंतर माझा आत्मविश्वास म्हणजे भरपूर वाढलेला आहे. नाहीतर माझा आत्मविश्वास गेलेला होता पूर्ण. आपण घराच्या बाहेर निघू शकत नव्हतो. त्या व्हीलचेअरमुळे मी बाहेर मित्रांमध्ये जाऊ शकतो, मार्केटमध्ये आणू शकतो, काही बी सामान आणू शकतो.
Bajaj FinServ wants to do as much as they can for children, youth, and to try and make each person independent. And this way they can get out, they can get a job. They're not, like I said earlier, dependent on anybody to take them around. Some of them, we met some beneficiaries, they've become delivery boys. We met an Ayurvedic doctor who could not get out on her own because she was dependent on somebody taking her to a clinic. But with this wheelchair, she is much more dependent. She can get to her hospital, she can help treat other patients.
माझा 2017 मध्ये बाईक ऍक्सिडेंट मध्ये स्पायनल कॉर्ड इंजुरी झालेली. त्याच्यानंतर खूप वर्ष मी बेडवरच होते. माझं पूर्ण म्हणजे ट्रंक पासून खालचं पार्ट पूर्ण पॅरालिस झालं होतं. त्याच्यानंतर मग माझं ट्रीटमेंट सुरू झाली, फिजिओथेरपी वगैरे. मला इथून बाहेर जायला वगैरे खूप प्रॉब्लेम यायचे, सगळ्या गोष्टीवर डिपेंडेंट राहायला लागायचं. व्हीलचेअर असू दे, म्हणजे कशासाठी पण मला समजा इथून क्लिनिकला जायचं असेल, मग नंतर ह्या निओ मोशन व्हीलचेअरमुळे खूप इझी जाते मला. कारण हे व्हीलचेअरला खूप म्हणजे पुढे नाही ढकलावं लागत, इझिली पुढे जाते व्हीलचेअर. आणि ह्या व्हीलचेअरमुळे मी सध्या आता कॉलेजला ऍडमिशन घेतले. आता मी इंडिपेंडेंटली क्लिनिकला जाऊ शकते, माझी थेरपी घेऊ शकते आणि कॉलेजला सुद्धा मी एकटी जाते. त्याच्यामुळे मला खूप चांगलं वाटतं की मला कोणावर डिपेंडेंट नाही राहावं लागत.
Hoping we can take this to many more cities. We started off here in Pune, but we're hoping we can take it to many more cities and help many more people. I hope we can make a difference.
The Bajaj Group of companies is driven by a powerful vision and philosophy, inspired by its founding father, the late Shri Jamnalal Bajaj, a visionary, reformer and path changer. He believed that common good was more important than individual gain. The legacy of compassion and giving has been carried by his sons, Kamal Nayan Bajaj and Ram Krishna Bajaj, and spearheaded by Rahul Bajaj. His words have served as a guiding light for countless individuals, igniting a profound passion for social responsibility that extends beyond mere business. Through its corporate social responsibility efforts, Bajaj FinServ has been working towards building a better and sustainable future for the next generation, with a special focus on skilling, employability, and child development.
As a group, we have recognized the importance of sustainability in our journey and our role as corporates to build an equitable and inclusive ecosystem for our society. Our businesses have always been a testament to the value we bring to society, reflecting our deep-rooted heritage and core business philosophy. We are proud to be institutionalizing inclusion, be it in our business, our group ecosystem, or in society.
The group actively supports projects in the areas of skilling, education, healthcare, child protection, and assistance for people with disabilities. These impactful initiatives have touched the lives of more than 2 million people.
At Bajaj FinServ, we strongly believe that with the right interventions and strategic partnerships, we can contribute to positive changes in society. While the discussions with these partners happen behind closed doors, the real impact is seen through the work that they do on ground. It is seeing children with juvenile diabetes achieving great academic success, disabled Jawans creating art, or women acquiring new skills for employability that truly breathes life into our work.
Bajaj FinServ also runs its homegrown employability initiative, CP-BFI A Certificate Program in banking, finance and insurance that empowers first-generation graduates from smaller towns.
We have a very clear vision for CSR at Bajaj FinServ. Skilling is our key focus area. We also focus on child, from a health, from an education, from protection and on people with disabilities. For this, we work with an ecosystem of partners. These partners are experts in their domain, they're thought leaders, and we are implementing programs on the ground with a focus on Pune with them.
In Pune city, where their roots run deep, the family dedicates itself wholeheartedly to enhancing the community they call home by providing better infrastructure, medical facilities, and educational opportunities. The company has brought transformative changes to the lives of underprivileged children by supporting cleft reconstruction surgeries in collaboration with Smile Train.
We are deeply thankful for our partnership with the Bajaj FinServ Group and subsidiary companies, which goes beyond the monetary, as both organizations truly believe that every child born with a cleft has the right to live a full and healthy life.
जो छोटे छोटे नन्हे मुन्ने बच्चे जिनके होठ या तालू जन्म से कटे हुए होते हैं, जब मैं उन्हें देखता हूँ वो बहुत प्यारे लगते हैं। तो मैंने ये ठाना कि इन बच्चों के चेहरे से इस विकृति को मैं हमेशा के लिए हटा दूंगा, और मेरा साथ दिया स्माइल ट्रेन ने और फिर बजाज फिनसर्व ने भी।
The Bajaj Group is proud of bringing meaningful transformations through the unwavering support of their great partners. While the road ahead may be long, they remain resolute in continuing their commitment to making a significant and profound impact on society.
Bajaj FinServ is taking up this initiative because we want to help our society. We want to help people, the youth, the children, to make them more independent and maybe transform their lives in certain ways. Today we have 40 beneficiaries who are, like I said, differently able, and Sancheti Hospital has helped find these beneficiaries who need this much more than others. A wheelchair which is designed specifically for them and their issues, and with that another piece that you attach onto the wheelchair, and that makes them be able to get onto the roads safely. And I think that will really change these people's lives by letting them get out much more without being dependent on anybody else.
ती व्हीलचेअर भेटल्यानंतर मी आता माझा पोल्ट्री फार्म आहे, मी त्या पोल्ट्री फार्मवर जाऊ शकतो स्वतः ह्या व्हीलचेअर घेऊन. पहिले जाऊ शकत नव्हतो आणि त्या व्हीलचेअर त्या कार्यक्रमामध्ये आल्यानंतर माझा आत्मविश्वास म्हणजे भरपूर वाढलेला आहे. नाहीतर माझा आत्मविश्वास गेलेला होता पूर्ण. आपण घराच्या बाहेर निघू शकत नव्हतो. त्या व्हीलचेअरमुळे मी बाहेर मित्रांमध्ये जाऊ शकतो, मार्केटमध्ये आणू शकतो, काही बी सामान आणू शकतो.
Bajaj FinServ wants to do as much as they can for children, youth, and to try and make each person independent. And this way they can get out, they can get a job. They're not, like I said earlier, dependent on anybody to take them around. Some of them, we met some beneficiaries, they've become delivery boys. We met an Ayurvedic doctor who could not get out on her own because she was dependent on somebody taking her to a clinic. But with this wheelchair, she is much more dependent. She can get to her hospital, she can help treat other patients.
माझा 2017 मध्ये बाईक ॲक्सिडेंटमध्ये स्पायनल कॉर्ड इंजुरी झालेली. त्याच्यानंतर खूप वर्ष मी बेडवरच होते. माझं पूर्ण म्हणजे ट्रंक पासून खालचा पार्ट पूर्ण पॅरालिस झालं होता. त्याच्यानंतर मग माझं ट्रीटमेंट सुरू झाली, फिजिओथेरपी वगैरे. मला इथून बाहेर जायला वगैरे खूप प्रॉब्लेम यायचे, सगळ्या गोष्टीवर डिपेंडेंट राहायला लागायचं. व्हीलचेअर असू दे, म्हणजे कशासाठी पण मला समजा इथून क्लिनिकला जायचं असेल, मग नंतर ह्या निओ मोशन व्हीलचेअरमुळे खूप इझी जाते मला, कारण हे व्हीलचेअरला खूप म्हणजे पुढे नाही ढकलावं लागत, इझिली पुढे जाते व्हीलचेअर. आणि ह्या व्हीलचेअरमुळे मी सध्या आता कॉलेजला ॲडमिशन घेतले. आता मी इंडिपेंडेंटली क्लिनिकला जाऊ शकते, माझी थेरपी घेऊ शकते आणि कॉलेजला सुद्धा मी एकटी जाते. त्याच्यामुळे मला खूप चांगलं वाटतं की मला कोणावर डिपेंडेंट नाही राहावं लागत.
Hoping we can take this to many more cities. We started off here in Pune, but we're hoping we can take it to many more cities and help many more people. I hope we can make a difference.
The Bajaj Group of Companies is driven by a powerful vision and philosophy, inspired by its founding father, the late Shri Jamnalal Bajaj, a visionary, reformer and path changer. He believed that common good was more important than individual gain. The legacy of compassion and giving has been carried by his sons, Kamal Nayan Bajaj and Ram Krishna Bajaj, and spearheaded by Rahul Bajaj. His words have served as a guiding light for countless individuals, igniting a profound passion for social responsibility that extends beyond mere business. Through its corporate social responsibility efforts, Bajaj FinServ has been working towards building a better and sustainable future for the next generation, with a special focus on skilling, employability, and child development.
As a group, we have recognized the importance of sustainability in our journey and our role as corporates to build an equitable and inclusive ecosystem for our society. Our businesses have always been a testament to the value we bring to society, reflecting our deep-rooted heritage and core business philosophy. We are proud to be institutionalizing inclusion, be it in our business, our group ecosystem, or in society.
The group actively supports projects in the areas of skilling, education, healthcare, child protection, and assistance for people with disabilities. These impactful initiatives have touched the lives of more than 2 million people.
At Bajaj FinServe, we strongly believe that with the right interventions and strategic partnerships, we can contribute to positive changes in society. While the discussions with these partners happen behind closed doors, the real impact is seen through the work that they do on ground. It is seeing children with juvenile diabetes achieving great academic success, disabled Jawans creating art, or women acquiring new skills for employability that truly breathes life into our work.
Bajaj FinServe also runs its homegrown employability initiative, CP-BFI A Certificate Program in banking, finance and insurance that empowers first-generation graduates from smaller towns.
We have a very clear vision for CSR at Bajaj FinServe. Skilling is our key focus area. We also focus on child, from a health, from an education, from protection, and on people with disabilities. For this, we work with an ecosystem of partners. These partners are experts in their domain, they're thought leaders, and we are implementing programs on the ground with a focus on Pune with them.
In Pune city, where their roots run deep, the family dedicates itself wholeheartedly to enhancing the community they call home by providing better infrastructure, medical facilities, and educational opportunities. The company has brought transformative changes to the lives of underprivileged children by supporting cleft reconstruction surgeries in collaboration with Smile Train.
We are deeply thankful for our partnership with the Bajaj FinServe Group and subsidiary companies, which goes beyond the monetary, as both organizations truly believe that every child born with a cleft has the right to live a full and healthy life.
जो छोटे छोटे नन्हे मुन्ने बच्चे जिनके होठ या तालू जम से कटे हुए होते हैं, जब मैं उन्हें देखता हूँ वो बहुत प्यारे लगते हैं। तो मैंने ये ठाना कि इन बच्चों के चेहरे से इस विकृति को मैं हमेशा के लिए हटा दूंगा। और मेरा साथ दिया स्माइल ट्रेन ने और फिर बजाज फिनसर्व ने भी।
The Bajaj Group is proud of bringing meaningful transformations through the unwavering support of their great partners. While the road ahead may be long, they remain resolute in continuing their commitment to making a significant and profound impact on society.
Bajaj FinServ is taking up this initiative because we want to help our society. We want to help people, the youth, the children, to make them more independent and maybe transform their lives in certain ways. Today we have 40 beneficiaries who are, like I said, differently abled, and Sancheti Hospital has helped find these beneficiaries who need this much more than others. A wheelchair which is designed specifically for them and their issues, and with that another piece that you attach onto the wheelchair, and that makes them be able to get onto the roads safely. And I think that will really change these people's lives by letting them get out much more without being dependent on anybody else.
ती व्हीलचेअर भेटल्यानंतर मी आता माझा पोल्ट्री फार्म आहे, मी त्या पोल्ट्री फार्मवर जाऊ शकतो स्वतः ह्या व्हीलचेअर घेऊन. पहिले जाऊ शकत नव्हतो आणि त्या व्हीलचेअर त्या कार्यक्रमामध्ये आल्यानंतर माझा आत्मविश्वास म्हणजे भरपूर वाढलेला आहे. नाहीतर माझा आत्मविश्वास गेलेला होता पूर्ण. आपण घराच्या बाहेर निघू शकत नव्हतो. त्या व्हीलचेअरमुळे मी बाहेर मित्रांमध्ये जाऊ शकतो, मार्केटमध्ये आणू शकतो, काही बी सामान आणू शकतो.
Bajaj FinServ wants to do as much as they can for children, youth, and to try and make each person independent. And this way they can get out, they can get a job. They're not, like I said earlier, dependent on anybody to take them around. Some of them, we met some beneficiaries, they've become delivery boys. We met an Ayurvedic doctor who could not get out on her own because she was dependent on somebody taking her to a clinic. But with this wheelchair, she is much more dependent. She can get to her hospital, she can help treat other patients.
माझा 2017 मध्ये बाईक ॲक्सिडेंटमध्ये स्पायनल कॉर्ड इंजुरी झालेली. त्याच्यानंतर खूप वर्ष मी बेडवरच होते. माझं पूर्ण म्हणजे का ट्रंक पासून खालचा पार्ट पूर्ण पॅरालिस झालं होतं. त्याच्यानंतर मग माझं ट्रीटमेंट सुरू झाली, फिजिओथेरपी वगैरे. मला इथून बाहेर जायला वगैरे खूप प्रॉब्लेम यायचे, सगळ्या गोष्टीवर डिपेंडेंट राहायला लागायचं. व्हीलचेअर असू दे, म्हणजे कशासाठी पण मला समजा इथून क्लिनिकला जायचं असेल, मग नंतर ह्या निओ मोशन व्हीलचेअरमुळे खूप इझी जाते मला, कारण हे व्हीलचेअरला खूप म्हणजे पुढे नाही ढकलावं लागत, इझिली पुढे जाते व्हीलचेअर. आणि ह्या व्हीलचेअरमुळे मी सध्या आता कॉलेजला ॲडमिशन घेतले. आता मी इंडिपेंडेंटली क्लिनिकला जाऊ शकते, माझी थेरपी घेऊ शकते आणि कॉलेजला सुद्धा मी एकटी जाते. त्याच्यामुळे मला खूप चांगलं वाटतं की मला कोणावर डिपेंडेंट नाही राहावं लागत.
Hoping we can take this to many more cities. We started off here in Pune, but we're hoping we can take it to many more cities and help many more people. I hope we can make a difference.
The Bajaj Group of Companies is driven by a powerful vision and philosophy, inspired by its founding father, the late Shri Jamnalal Bajaj, a visionary, reformer, and path changer. He believed that common good was more important than individual gain. The legacy of compassion and giving has been carried by his sons, Kamal Nayan Bajaj and Ram Krishna Bajaj, and spearheaded by Rahul Bajaj. His words have served as a guiding light for countless individuals, igniting a profound passion for social responsibility that extends beyond mere business. Through its corporate social responsibility efforts, Bajaj FinServ has been working towards building a better and sustainable future for the next generation, with a special focus on skilling, employability, and child development.
As a group, we have recognized the importance of sustainability in our journey and our role as corporates to build an equitable and inclusive ecosystem for our society. Our businesses have always been a testament to the value we bring to society, reflecting our deep-rooted heritage and core business philosophy. We are proud to be institutionalizing inclusion, be it in our business, our group ecosystem, or in society.
The group actively supports projects in the areas of skilling, education,
Good afternoon, dear shareholders, and welcome to the 36th Annual General Meeting of Bajaj Finance Limited. I am Sanjeev Bajaj, Chairman of the company. With the requisite quorum being present, I call the meeting to order. The Ministry of Corporate Affairs, via its circular dated 28 December 2022, has extended the timelines for companies to conduct their AGM through video conferencing or other audiovisual means without physical presence of members at a common venue till 30th of September 2023. I do realize that many of you have expressed the desire for participating at a physical meeting. In view of the possible resurgence of COVID in early part of the year, we had opted for a virtual mode this year as well. Hopefully, with the threat of COVID fading away, I look forward to a physical AGM, including hybrid option next year onwards, thereby combining the best of both physical and digital modes. Further, pursuant to requirements of MCA circular, the company has allowed a facility for two-way video conferencing for ease of participation of the members. The company has taken all feasible efforts to ensure that shareholders are provided an opportunity to participate in this annual general meeting. Members participating through mobile devices, tablets, etc., could experience audiovisual loss due to fluctuation in their respective networks. Use of a stable Wi-Fi or LAN connection can mitigate some of the technical glitches. Members who need technical assistance during this meeting may reach out to our registrar and share transfer agent, KFin Technologies, at the email ID or the helpline number provided in the AGM notice. Now, I would like to introduce my colleagues on the board of the company. I begin with the directors seated on my left. Anami Roy, Chairman of the Audit Committee. DJ Balaji Rao, Chairman of the Stakeholder Relationship Committee. Pramit Javeri, Chairman of the Risk Management and Customer Service Committees. Radhika Haribhakti, Chairperson of the Nomination and Remuneration Committee. Dr. Noshad Forbes, Chairman of the CSR and the IT Strategy Committees. And Dr. Arindam Bhattacharya, our new independent director. He has joined the board with effect from 1st of April 2023. He is senior advisor to the Boston Consulting Group, from where he retired as senior partner and managing director. He has over 30 years of experience in the industry and consulting with focus on the industrial sector. Let me extend him a warm welcome on behalf of all of us. Now I introduce directors on my right. Rajiv Jain, Managing Director of your company. Rajiv Bajaj, Non-Executive, Non-Independent Director. I should also share with you that the Board of Directors has recognized and strengthened the key role played by your company's senior management by elevating two key managerial personnel, Anup Saha and Rakesh Bhatt. Both of them are now executive directors on the board with effect from 1st April 2023. Please join me in extending to them a warm welcome. All the directors are present at the meeting. Also present with me on the dais is Sandeep Jain, the Chief Financial Officer, and R. Vijay, the Company Secretary. We also have in attendance Sanjeev Pilgaonkar, Partner for Deloitte Haskins & Sells, and Rajan Asher, Partner GM Kapadia & Co., the joint statutory auditors, and Sham Prasad Lime, the secretarial auditor of the company. Pursuant to MCA circulars and the Companies Act, the following requisite documents are available for inspection electronically. The consolidated and standalone financial statements, along with auditor's report thereon, the director's report, the registrar of contracts with related parties, register of directors and key managerial personnel, certificate of compliance under SEBI's ESOP regulations, the secretarial audit report, and articles of association. The auditor's report on the standalone and consolidated financial statements and the secretarial audit report for the financial year ended 31 March 2023 do not contain any adverse remark, qualification, or disclaimer. Accordingly, the said reports are not being read out. Since the meeting is conducted through video conferencing, the option to appoint proxy is not available for this AGM. The company has received authorization under Section 113 of the Companies Act from shareholders representing 55.82% of the paid-up share capital of the company. I am happy to inform that our number of shareholders has increased by over 1,70,000 compared to last year. As on March 2023, the number of shareholders were around 8,90,000 as compared to 7,18,000 a year earlier. With that note, dear shareholders, let me now offer a few highlights of the year gone by. Financial year 22-23 began on a mixed note. On the positive side, after 2 years, the impact of COVID pandemic on lives and livelihood had started receding. However, the impact of inflationary trends, supply chain disruptions emanating from China, and the Russia-Ukraine conflict have impacted commodity prices. In FY23, the Indian economy faced multiple challenges: elevated commodity prices, higher retail inflation, depreciation of the Indian rupee, and a rising current account deficit. Despite these challenges, India emerged as the fastest growing major economy in the world. Now, NBFCs have become important constituents of India's financial sector and have been recording a higher credit growth than scheduled commercial banks over the last few years. Given the increasing importance of NBFCs, the RBI in the last few years has increased its regulatory oversight over the sector. Your company, Bajaj Finance, is among the largest and most diversified NBFCs in India, offering payments and lending solutions to its customers. On 30th September 2022, the RBI, as part of its scale-based regulations, identified and categorized Bajaj Finance Limited and our subsidiary Bajaj Housing Finance Limited as upper layer NBFCs, and these are part of a list of 16 such NBFCs, including housing finance companies. We believe that NBFCs with superior capital adequacy, better margins, frugal cost management, and prudent risk management procedures will continue to compete in the foreseeable future. Your company has used these past 2 tough years to completely re-alter the DNA of the organization and put in place a fully digitized omni-channel strategy which integrates your company's entire range of products and services for its customers. It has already started delivering superior business velocity, eliminated unnecessary friction, reduced operational costs, and enabled Bajaj Finance to truly create a single point interface for its customers' financial needs. Simply put, the omni-channel strategy enables customers to move between online and offline and vice versa in a frictionless manner. It has been a huge structural shift for your company, which is now reinventing the way it does everything. Our omni-channel strategy has 6 domains. 1, geographic expansion. 2, Bajaj Finserv app. 3, Bajaj Finserv website. 4, payments. 5, productivity apps. And 6, a customer data platform. During this year, your company has significantly advanced on all of these. And once fully implemented, omni-channel will make Bajaj Finance a truly customer-centric digital enterprise. Over the last 16 years, Bajaj Finance has enabled India's growing mass affluent and middle-class population to access all kinds of financial services to realize their dreams. For example, 15 years ago in FY08, your company had booked 1 million loans in the whole year, while last year your company booked nearly 30 million loans, a CAGR of 25%. From a humble 8 lakh, less than a million customer franchise in 2008, today the customer franchise has grown 35% year on year, serving over 69 million customers across the country. Since inception, the company has leveraged technology to launch 22 product lines and 46 product variants for retail, MSME, and commercial consumers, with major product innovations such as the EMI card and Flexi. In FY08, Bajaj Finance, and many of you may remember, had an AUM of under 2,500 crore. Today, as we speak, it has grown over 100 times to just under 2,50,000 crore. These milestones highlight that a company plays a key role not only for its customers but for society and the broader environment. BFL is committed to building a brighter future for the country's next generation. Our CSR activities are focused on skilling for employability of our youth and the holistic development of children. Through various projects, BFL has been striving to build a better and sustainable future for the next generation. During the year FY23, 164 projects were implemented, covering child and youth beneficiaries across multiple partners with a CSR spend of rupees 176.85 crore. BFL runs its homegrown employability initiative called CPBFI, a certificate program in banking, finance and insurance to empower first-generation graduates. 70% of them are girls from smaller towns and rural areas, equipping them with the right aptitude and attitude for a strong career in the financial services industry. The program is conducted across 140 towns in 20 states of India. And in the last year, the CPBFI program touched a milestone with more than 6,000 students successfully completing the program, a growth of over 40%, with the desired capabilities to compete for job opportunities in the BFSI industry. The annual enrollments are now over 10,000, and the certified alumni base has now grown to 16,000 graduates. I urge you all to spare some time to go through the business responsibility and sustainability report, which forms part of the annual report, as well as the ESG report, which are available on the company's website. I shall now hand it over to your Managing Director, Rajiv Jain, to update you on business performance, financial highlights, and company insights.
A very good afternoon and a warm welcome once again to AGM 2023. I'll quickly take you through our Q1 results, which were released a while ago, year gone by, and medium-term outlook of your company. I expect to take anywhere between 20-25 minutes. First quarter results, let's jump in quickly, were just released. It was an excellent quarter for your company. It was a strong quarter across volumes, AUM growth, portfolio quality, and profitability. AUM grew by 32% to 2.7 lakh crore. NI grew by 26% to 8,398 crores. PAT grew by 32% to 3,437 crores. Annualized ROE in first quarter came in at 24.5%. Your company delivered lowest ever GNPA of 0.87%, and NNPA came in at 31 basis points. In Q1, your company disbursed a record 9.94 million loans and added 3.84 million new customers, highest ever that your company has done in a quarter. Overall, to summarize, I would say quarter one was an excellent quarter and a very strong start to the fiscal. Your housing finance subsidiary, BHFL, also had a good start to the fiscal. It was a strong quarter for BHFL as well across AUM growth, portfolio quality and profitability. BHFL AUM grew by 29% to 74,000 crores. NI grew by 18% to 702 crores, and profit after tax grew by 46% to 462 crores. Annualized ROE, adjusted for one-time deferred tax gain, came in at 14.5%. BHFL delivered GNPA of 23 basis points and NNPA of just below 10 basis points at 0.08%. Your company's second subsidiary, BFSL, generated a PAT of profit after tax of 5 crores in Q1. It's a young company, as you're aware, and we continue to invest in building BFSL. Jumping over to the 16-year consolidated results of your financial snapshot of your company is now 36-year-old and has served over 69.1 million consumers as of FY23. In the last 16 years, your company has compounded AUM by 36%, NI by 35%, and PAT by 52%. FY23 performance, if I look at it on a standalone, on a year-on-year basis, was equally strong. In FY23, your company delivered strong momentum across all important metrics, with core AUM growth of 29%, NI growth of 32%, and PAT growth of 64%. Return on equity, a key measure of shareholder return, came in at a robust 23.5% for FY23. Your company in FY23 also delivered lowest ever GNPA of 94 basis points and NNPA of 34 basis points. Let me now briefly take you through our FY23 performance. In this section, I'll quickly cover overall how your company navigated FY23, the macro, inflation, interest rates, and regulatory environment. I'll also cover certain important highlights of the year that went by. Let's begin with macro. As per the provisional estimates, India's GDP growth for FY23 is now pegged at 7.2%. Clearly, India was the fastest growing major economy in the world in FY23. In FY23, Government of India continued to undertake structural reforms and made significant investments in infrastructure to make India more competitive and a preferred place to do business in. Private consumption also supported and continued to make steady progress. Looking forward from a macro standpoint, I'm quite optimistic about India's prospects for FY24. Various agencies are forecasting FY24 GDP growth to be 6 to 6.5%. Your company remains very well positioned, I would say, to capture India's growth momentum for FY24. Quickly on inflation. Inflation was clearly in FY23 the biggest global challenge. All central banks raised interest rates multiple times to rein in inflation. India's consumer price inflation peaked at 7.79% in April 22, but ended with 5.66% in March 23. Clearly, Government of India and RBI's swift actions led to sustained reduction in CPI through FY23. At this juncture, it does seem that the worst on inflation is behind us. Various agencies are forecasting CPI to be in the corridor of 5 to 5.3%, and I would strongly say that that's really where the corridor would be. However, we have to just wait for monsoon. It may be a key determining factor, and over the next 2-3 months, the direction will become very clear on inflation from FY24 standpoint. Inflation and interest rates, as you're aware, go hand in hand. So let me just quickly cover interest rates now. To curb inflationary pressures in FY23, central banks globally continue to increase policy rates multiple times and also in parallel reduce excess liquidity. RBI also started increasing rates from May 22 onwards. During FY23, to rein in inflation, RBI in an unprecedented manner increased repo rates by 250 basis points and also reduced systemic liquidity significantly. Repo rate at this point in time currently stands at 6.5%. Your company responded to the increasing interest rate environment with gradual transmission of interest rates on one hand, while also optimizing operating expenses to protect margins and growth. That's really how we navigated such a rapid increase in interest rates through FY23. Closer home, let me now jump over to the NBFC sector. NBFCs, as Sanjeev talked about, or as the chairman talked about, continue to demonstrate agility, innovation, and frugality to make provide formal financial services to millions of Indians. In FY23 also, NBFC sector continued to record strong growth. NBFC sector, if I look at the last 5-6 years, has navigated 4 large events in the last few years, and despite these large events, has continued to make maintain its strong performance. Given the resilience and agility and the events that it's navigated, that the sector has demonstrated, I remain quite optimistic about the prospects of NBFCs in the years to come. On regulatory environment, given the growing size and systemic importance of the NBFC sector, RBI issued scale-based regulations effective October 22 to make the sector more sound and resilient. Your company and one of its subsidiaries, BHFL, have been independently classified as upper layer NBFCs. Your company and BHFL are complying with the increased compliance requirements under SBR. I strongly believe that enhanced compliance and supervision will make the NBFC sector a lot more resilient in the years to come and play an important role in providing financial services to millions of Indians and also help in the process grow India. Let me now jump to your company. In FY23, BFL ended with an AUM of 2.47 lakh crore, which is a core growth of 29%. Its NII grew by 32% to 28,855 crores. OPEX grew by 34% to 10,139 crores. Loan loss and provisions were down 34% to 3,190 crores. And PAT grew by 64% to 11,508 crores. Return on equity came in at 23.5%. GNPA and NPA, as I articulated earlier, were strong at 0.94 and 0.34% respectively. Overall, I would say FY23 was a very good year for your company after 2 challenging years of pandemic that came in before that. On your subsidiaries, your company also has 2 subsidiaries, as you're aware, BHFL and BFSL. BHFL also had a strong FY23 and delivered AUM of 69,228 crores, a growth of 30%, PAT of 1,258 crores, a growth of 77%, and its GNPA and NPA were the lowest in the industry at 22 basis points and 0.08% respectively. Its return on equity for FY23 was 14.6%. On your second subsidiary, BFSL, we continue to invest in building BFSL. BFSL ended FY23 with 565,000 customers and a PAT of 8 crores. As articulated earlier, both these subsidiaries represent a very, very large opportunity, and I'm quite excited about their medium-term prospects. Let's quickly now jump to the product suite of your company. This is the product suite of your company. Your company offers largest product suite in the NBFC space. We meet financial services needs of retail, small businesses, and commercial customers across the length and breadth of India. In FY23, your company launched several new products. It launched its second credit card partnership, it launched non-captive two-wheeler financing business, and a whole host of payment products. I'm also excited to share that your company in FY24 is on track to launch 4 new lines of businesses. New car financing, which just went live, microfinance in Q3, emerging local corporates in Q3, and tractor financing in Q4 of FY24 to further augment its product suite. These new business lines, I strongly believe, should significantly accelerate growth of your company over the medium term and create a more sustainable and a stronger BFL in years to come. What I'm more pleased about is about your company's product expansion strategy that's been delivered without compromising on portfolio quality or profitability. Over the last 6 years, product mix of your company across 9 large categories has largely remained stable, enabling growth and profitability and a steady risk performance. I foresee in the years to come this portfolio composition to largely remain same in the medium term. I also believe, in addition, that our existing lines of businesses and the new lines of businesses that we are launching continue to represent a very large growth opportunity for a growing India and its middle class. Let me now share an update quickly on our omnipresent strategy, which I provided an update last year as well. From an omnipresent standpoint, your company made significant progress on its omnipresent strategy in FY23. Bajaj FinServ app was the 5th largest on Google Play Store in finance section in FY23. Your company ended FY23 with just a tad below 52 million gross downloads. had 35.5 million net installs as of March 31st. App is equal to web strategy, which was outlined last year, went live as well. Your company added, from a physical standpoint, 229 new locations and ended the year with presence in 3,733 locations. In FY24, your company will launch 2 new platforms, Rewards in Q4 and a social commerce platform in Q1/Q2 of FY25 to create more channels for consumers and to be where the consumers are headed. I'm confident that as a result of our omnipresent strategy and the product suite that the company offers, sometime in the medium term, your company would become a truly omnipresent company with a franchise of 100 to 120 million consumers in the near future. Let me now quickly take you through the progress your company made on risk management in FY23. Before I start on risk management, I must say that your company has a very strong risk culture. Your company continues to enhance its risk management capabilities across financial risk, credit risk, portfolio risk, liquidity risk, operational risk, market risk, and reputation risk every year. As a company, we've always followed a risk-first approach and remain focused on managing all aspects of risk on an everyday basis. I'll quickly cover 9 key elements of risk for you. The first clearly is credit risk. Your company delivered lowest ever consolidated GNP of 94 basis points and NNP of 34 basis points in FY23. It also delivered lowest ever stage 2 assets at 122 basis points, and the reference of that is pre-COVID quarter of Q3 FY20, where it was 250 basis points. It ended March 23 with management and macroeconomic overlay of 960 crores to protect against any unforeseen macro event. With regard to liquidity risk, capital position remained very strong at just a tad below 25%. We regained our investment grade rating for ECB program of BBB-. The liquidity surplus that company continues to maintain 5 to 8% of borrowing as liquidity surplus at any point in time, had liquidity surplus of close to 11,852 crores as of March 23. LCR position was a strong 113%. In terms of market risk, your company has a prudent investment policy for all investment decisions. Surpluses are invested in GSEC, liquid funds, and deposits with leading banks only. It has a prudent interest rate management. Its prudent interest rate management ensured that there was no material mark-to-market impact in FY23. Interest rate risk, very diversified borrowing mix. Money markets now contribute to 45%, banks are 33%, deposits are 21%, and ECB is 1%. Deposits program now, which is 8-year-old program, it now contributes to 21% of consolidated borrowing. Average cost of funds in FY23 moved up by 23 basis points only, as against 250 basis points increase in repo rate. A well-balanced fixed and floating assets and liability mix provides a natural hedge to your interest rate risk. On debt management risk, we banked 266 million EMIs in FY23. We delivered debt management services to 41.5 million customers in FY23. Digital channels and branches contributed to 45% of DMS volumes in FY23. This number of 45% was 35% as early as just 3 years ago. We continue to make deep investments in structure, processes, and trainings to enhance debt management controllership as a company. Technology risk, we are already at 40 million customers on the app. We are scale ready for 100 million downloads with 13,000 plus KPIs on the app. Multi-cloud strategy with 80% of the workloads are now running on cloud. We continue to make deep investments in FY23 in Security Operations Center, vulnerability management, cyber resilience, third-party risk assessment, and phishing simulations. Also continue to make investments in consent architecture like do not call, right to forget, etc. On customer service, a key dimension of risk, customer franchise stood at 69.1 million consumers. We added 11.6 million new customers in FY23. Customer complaints, despite a significant increase in new customer addition, came down from 7,538 to 7,426. Digital channels, which has 26 key modules and 270 distinct journeys, has led to a significant reduction in branch walk-ins of customers. It used to be 2.42% in FY20 of active banking used to walk into the branches. In Q1, it's down to 1.31% as we speak. We continue to make investments in new service channels or in adding journeys on the app and web platforms to continue to improve our service standards as a company. A do not call framework has also just gone live on app and web. Any customer who would not like to receive a sales call can now register for the service and will not receive any call from any of our authorized channels. Let me quickly jump to human resources risk. Consolidated employee headcount grew by from 35,425 employees to 43,147 employees. We net added 7,722 employees in FY23. Employee attrition reduced to 19% in FY23 from 28% that it was in FY22, a drop of 9%. As a company, we were amongst the only 3 companies in India to be recognized as laureate by Great Places to Work for 10 years of consistent great workplace. The employees of the company gave a score of 90% plus on Employee Trust Index, which is amongst the highest in the industry. On ESG, let me talk quickly about ESG. We financed over 17 million new to credit customers in the last 5 years. We provide financing access to 9.5 million women borrowers in the last 5 years. Our work on automation continues to require less and less paper. We estimate that 412 crore paper sheets is what it has resulted in saving close to 5 lakh trees in last 3 years alone. We as a company remain committed to and continue to make progress in all areas related from an ESG standpoint on diversity, green energy transition, and disclosure standards. That is really how we navigated FY23. Let me now take the last 10 minutes to quickly share with you how do we see the medium-term outlook of your company. Before I get into the medium-term outlook of a company, let me make a point that your company takes a very disciplined and rigorous approach to a strategic planning process. I strongly believe personally that over years, disciplined strategic planning and its strong execution has enabled your company maintain a sustainable and a profitable growth trajectory. Our strategic planning framework, as we've built over years, is articulated across 6 key pillars for us as a company. I'll quickly take you through them. First is ambition. Our ambition from a medium-term standpoint is to be a leading payments and financial service company in India. We want to dominate financial services with 100 to 120 million consumers, market share of 3% of payments GMV, 3 to 4% of total credit, and 4 to 5% of retail credit in India. Our strategy is very simple at one level, to be an omnipresent financial services company dominant across all consumer platforms, whether it's branches, app, web, social, rewards, or virtual. Our approach to business strategy is very clear: to acquire and cross-sell, across payments, assets, deposits, insurance, investments, and broking products to consumers, small businesses, commercial, and rural consumers across India. Philosophy, very clearly to build businesses with a 10-year view anchored on prudence and risk management to deliver through the cycle 21 to 23% shareholder returns as a company. We're also very clear that if we want to be a leading player in financial services, we want each one of our businesses to be amongst the top 5 in their respective product lines from a market share standpoint. In terms of profit share, which is the last pillar of our strategic framework, we want to make sure that we are amongst the top 20 most profitable companies in India and amongst top 5 to 6 profit-making financial services companies in India. These are the 6 key pillars on which the strategic planning framework has been organized as. If I take that to the next level, let me just quickly give you a high-level texture on how we go about as a company building the strategic planning process. Every year, as your company and the senior most management analyzes the macro trends, industry outlook, technology megatrends, business megatrends, and selects a leading benchmark company globally to learn from. It leads to what the company forecasts to be a strategic plan. I'll quickly take you through how your company articulated and created a strategic plan for FY23, which looks at how would your company look in FY27. So that's a 5-year rolling forecast or a business plan that it creates. To begin with, let's look at where do we focus in retail credit industry to be. We forecast India's total credit market to grow from 145 lakh crore in FY23 to 237 lakh crore between in FY27, an average growth rate of 13.1%. Mind you, as you can see on this panel, it grew by 9.5% in the preceding 7-8 years. We forecast that it will grow faster at 13.1%. India's retail credit mix, as there are many categories of businesses, even within retail segment, is forecast to remain largely steady. Commercial is forecasted to grow much slowly. Retail is forecasted to grow much more strongly. Your company is largely retail. 94% of your balance sheet of your company is retail. So that's why what you see here is a retail mix. Your company is present fully in 72% of retail categories. It's still not present in 28% of the categories, namely autos, CV and agri. And as I articulated earlier, it's gone live with new car financing. Used car financing, it got into 4 years ago. And that's really how the strategic plan ensures that it looks at new categories, assesses it, and makes entry into them. In terms of mega trends, your company identified, your company is a technology-oriented business. While we do lending and financial services, we think technology has played a pivotal role in shaping our ability to scale and also manage controllership. Your company identified in terms of technology megatrends, 15 key megatrends in FY23 which are relevant for financial services. I'm happy to share that in the last 7 months, it's made good progress on committing investments in 10 megatrends with extensive use cases, and 5 megatrends are in a wait and watch mode that we are watching very carefully, and we would commit investments as we move forward. If I look at the strategy of your company, very clearly, it's anchored on 5 key blocks in the process in terms of products, geography, platforms, subsidiaries and horizontal functions. In terms of products, we want to be among the top 5 players in each product line that we're in. In terms of geography, it fundamentally outlines that jahan Bajaj FinServe, wahan Bajaj FinServe ke sare products. In terms of platform, we're very clear we want to dominate all platforms of consumer presence and generate 50% of our business from digital platforms by FY27. In terms of horizontal functions, we want to make sure that we continue to pursue operational excellence across our functions and deliver robust controls and compliances. In terms of our subsidiaries, we want to ensure that we continue to grow and dominate in the respective industries of mortgages and broking that we have chosen to subsidize. If we execute flawlessly as a management team over the next 5 years, your company could look like this by FY27. It could have 110 to 120 million consumers. It could have a share of, from current 1.7% share of total credit, it could have 2.5 to 2.75% of total credit in India. In terms of retail credit, it could move from 2.62% to 3.5 to 3.75%. It could be present in 4,500 locations, and it could be attracting close to 1.1 to 1.2 billion annual visitors on web, could have 70 to 80 million customers on the app, and return on equity could continue to remain between 21 to 23%. That's really the medium-term outlook for your companies. I've come to the end of my update. I strongly believe that India represents a tremendous opportunity, and I believe your company is very well positioned to seize it. I'd like to thank all the shareholders for their tremendous support over years and seek their good wishes for the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Rajiv. Now getting back to some routine items. In terms of the provisions of Companies Act and SEBI listing regulations, members holding shares as on 19th of July 2023, which was the cutoff date, are entitled to vote on the resolutions contained in the AGM notice. Shareholders holding shares as on the cutoff date were provided an option to cast their votes remotely from 23rd of July 2023 9 a.m. to 25th of July 23 5 p.m. by logging into the e-voting platform provided by KFin Technologies. Shareholders who have joined this AGM and have not cast their vote so far can vote at this meeting. Sri Limay, the practicing company secretary, has been appointed as scrutinizer for the e-voting process. Before putting the resolutions to vote, I would like to brief you on the same. Resolution number 1, which is ordinary, is the adoption of the standalone and consolidated financial statements for the financial year ended 31 March 23, together with the directors' and auditors' report thereon. Resolution number 2, ordinary, is the declaration of dividend or rupees 30 per equity share of face value of rupees 2 for the financial year ended 31 March 2023. As I am interested in resolution number 3, I would request Mr. Anami Roy to take the chair and conduct the proceedings for the next item of business. Yeah, you can start.
Thank you, Chairman. The next item of business relates to reappointment of Shri Rajiv Bajaj as a director liable to retire by rotation as an ordinary resolution. The same is proposed for approval of shareholders at this AGM. With that, I hand over back to the Chairman.
Thank you, Anami. Resolution number 4, which is special, is the issue of non-convertible debentures through private placement. And lastly, resolution number 5, also special, is the alteration of articles of association of the company pursuant to SEBI regulations. Now I would like to invite queries from our speaker shareholders. Queries, questions received over email will be taken up after the queries of speaker shareholders are answered. I would like to now hand this over to the moderator.
Thank you, Chairman. Before we begin the Q&A session, a few points for your consideration. All members who have joined this meeting are by default placed on mute to avoid disturbance arising from any background noise. Once your name is announced, you will be sent a request to unmute your microphone. Kindly unmute your microphone, switch your camera on and speak. If you're not able to switch to video mode for any reason, please use the audio mode only. To ensure greater clarity and to minimize background noise, we recommend that you use headphones or earphones with a microphone. For a better video experience, please ensure proper lighting. Kindly ensure that your Wi-Fi is not connected to any other device or devices and no other applications are running on the device. If we observe a connectivity problem at your end, we shall ask the next speaker to join in and will come back to you after other registered shareholders have spoken. Kindly restrict your queries or comments to a maximum of 3 minutes. Our first shareholder registered to speak is Srinidhi Bajoria. Ma'am, you've been placed in the meeting. Kindly unmute your microphone and speak.
Good afternoon, respected Chairman and members of the board. I'm Srinidhi Bajoria from Calcutta, a very proud shareholder of Bajaj Finance and also a member of Millennium Mams. Sir, I have 3 questions for you today. Sir, rural India is set to grow very fast in the next 50 years. However, as a percentage of our portfolio, it's a very small part. So what are your plans for taking advantage of this growth in the rural sector? So my second question is, Mr. Jain mentioned in the new product portfolio, we are looking at microfinance. As we understand, sir, microfinance in India has not been very successful, and also it is a very highly risky business. So we would like you to share with us why you are entering this space and what are your plans to succeed here. So my last question is, we understand that low cost of borrowing is a significant advantage for any NBFC. And so the other competitor from your city also has the same advantage. So you and the other competitor both have sought technology as an edge over other competitors in the NBFC field. So we would like to understand, all these things being equal, going ahead, how does Bajaj Finance plan to be different, and how can our company grow? Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Our next shareholder is Nandini Saraf. Ma'am, you've been placed in the meeting. Kindly unmute your microphone and speak.
Good afternoon, Chairman, sir, and esteemed members of the board. I am Nandini Saraf from Kolkata, a proud shareholder of Bajaj Finance Limited and a member of Millennium Mams. Sir, I have two questions for you. Firstly, when our mentor, Mr. Bishnu Dhanuka, had met Mr. Rajiv Jain, Mr. Jain had mentioned that we are in the business of managing risk and not in the business of lending money. Sir, I'm curious to know if this statement still holds true in the current situation. Secondly, sir, our company boasts of numerous achievements to its credit. We have the highest number of locations, the largest distribution network, a comprehensive digital outreach, and the best credit rating. So with the company already being the best in its business, sir, I am eager to understand what next. So what lies ahead for Bajaj Finance, and how do we intend to build upon our existing success and continue setting new benchmarks in the future? Thank you for your time, sir. I look forward to hearing your valuable responses.
Thank you, ma'am. I now invite Payal Nathwani to speak. Ma'am, you've been placed in the meeting. Do unmute your microphone and speak.
Yeah. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. A very good afternoon to all the members of the board and my fellow shareholders. I am Payal Nathwani from Rajkot, a proud shareholder of your company and also a representative of Millennium Mams. Sir, I have three questions for you. The first question is, fintech companies are also giving competition to NBFCs in the credit card segment. How do you see this segment evolving in the medium and the long term? My second question is, a new player is going to be listed shortly, which can be a huge disruptor. Your views on this new competition? And lastly, I want to ask that my third question is, the largest NBFC, HDFC, is now merging with HDFC Bank. Do you think that this will be an advantage for your company? Now that you have a bigger competition in terms of HDFC Bank, how will this plan out? Your views on this. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Our next speaker shareholder is Mr. Sunil Kothari. Sir, you have been placed in the meeting. Do unmute your microphone and speak.
Thanks for opportunity, sir. Very commendable job since last 16 years. You and your team, Mr. Rajiv Jain and his team is doing commendable performance, and that performance is continuously increasing our expectation from you. So that is the one thing which covers. I am trying to ask is basically, sir, looking at the very comfortable interest rate scenario, easy liquidity, NPAs and credit risk seems to be lower. So competition is increasing. So I have one question, if Mr. Rajiv Jain can explain in detail. Basically, this interest rate competition, basically our customer is always or normally choose lower cost, lower interest rate. So in that scenario, and if you look at our first quarter result, our NII has grown up 26%, but our interest cost has gone up by 55%. So in this type of competition, how will be differentiating ourselves? How will be growing profitably and competing with them? That is just one question. And again, congratulations to everyone at Bajaj Finance. Wish you good luck. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. I now invite Celestine Mascarenhas to share her views. Ma'am, you have been placed in the meeting. Kindly unmute your microphone and speak.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you. Hear you.
Am
Please go on.
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. You are audible.
Yeah. Respected Chairman, Mr. Sanjeev Bajaj, members of the board, my fellow shareholders, I am Mrs. C. Mascarenas. I am speaking from Mumbai. First of all, I thank the company secretary, Mr. R. Vijay, and his team for sending me an annual report and also registering me as a speaker and also giving me this platform and to speak and much easy platform. Now I come to the annual report, which is very exhaustive, self-explanatory, adhering to all the norms of corporate governance. I thank the company's secretarial team for sending me for making such a beautiful balance sheet. My next is working is very good, and you have rewarded us with rupees 30 per share is very good. But my question is whether next year we'll get 35, because the things are becoming very difficult. Why I say that? Now a big competitor is come. Even I had just told the secretarial team also, such a big competitor, the Geo Financials, how this will affect us in the future. All this while it was okay, because lots I'm hearing sort of, in the telecom what happened. Once this Geo came, others were all shaken up. And only the strongest. Of course, I know Bajaj Finance is one of the strongest. So it will not that much affect, because we have certain intrinsic values and especially Gandhian. So I know we are in this thing. But my question is whether we will get more dividend, and market cap. Anyway, that time will tell. Now I want to ask some academic questions. Do we do gold lending? And if we do, what is the percentage of the total loan book? Now we have about 43,147 employees plus. What is the average age of these employees, and what is the attrition level? And are they still working from home alternate days or 2 days? Like many of the software companies are still working, and it is like beneficial also. Now so much of training, especially in Bombay, traveling is becoming lots of hassle. So if they work from home also, it is good. Now we have very good apps. How much of business is we of the total business we get from the app and online? What we see our company for the future, because finance is one of the most important sector. So, and especially in the housing loan sector. And what is our NIM level now? What is our NIM? Has it improved than last year? With this, I support all the resolutions. I wish my company all the best. And especially, I wish you and your entire team very good health, because health is this wealth. So with this, thank you so much. I don't want to go because the presentation was very, very big. So lots of things were initiated in the presentation only. So with this, thank you so much. May God bless our company and may it grow from strength to strength. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. I now invite Mr. Onkar Gugardare to share his thoughts with us.
Good afternoon, Mr. Bajaj, Mr. Jain, and everyone present on the board. I am Onkar Gugardare from Mumbai, a proud shareholder from last 10 years. Thank you for all the efforts which you are doing and you have done. And I'm sure the team will keep on doing for the betterment of the shareholders and for the company. One question many participants have already asked about the possible impact of Geo Financial Services on the Bajaj Finance, about as the Geo Financial Services, they have bigger size, bigger impact, bigger distribution from their subsidiaries, as well as the low cost of capital. So just thinking, what's the strategy of Bajaj Finance regarding this? The second question is the change in the revised guidance which you have mentioned in terms of ROE and ROA as well as the GNP. As we can notice that in the last quarter it was lower and now you have increased from this quarter onwards for BFL as well as for BHFL, if I'm not wrong. So just wanted to ask what has made you change the ROE and ROA profile as well as the other financial metrics? What has changed? The third question is basically on the Bajaj Group's thinking, the entire Bajaj Group's thinking and entire management's thinking on the conversion of Bajaj Finance into a bank. As you have mentioned that the NBFC has been upscaled by RBI, as now it is a bigger part of the overall industry. It has systemically been important for the industry as well. So what's the longer term thinking on this front on conversion into a bank? Yeah. And the next question is on the possible impact of other competitors on your margins as well as on the slower incremental growth for the clients. Yeah, and another thing is that as you have just articulated the medium-term vision of Bajaj Finance, just wanted to know what's the strategy of Bajaj Housing Finance in this front, as it is posting lower ROE and ROA as compared to Bajaj Finance Limited. So overall, it is denting the profitability and other financial metrics of Bajaj Finance as a whole. And industry, as of now, the ROE and ROA of Bajaj Housing Finance Limited, it is comparatively lower. So what's the strategy of Bajaj Housing Finance Limited on that front? Thank you very much.
Sir, our next speaker is Aspi Vesania. Sir, you've been placed in the meeting. Kindly switch your camera
Sir,
on.
can you see me and
Your
hear
mic.
me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you and see you.
Sir, I'm Aspi from Bombay. Sir, you've done very well, for which I congratulate the entire management, not only for the year, but also for first quarter. I hope you continue the trend. Sir, only one question is that how do you propose to face the onslaught of Jio? Jio has got all muscle power and everything. So how do you propose to face that? Sir, and second question is about that RTA, what I talked in Maharashtra scooters. Have you thought about anything? Sir, thank you very much and all the best for the future.
Thank you, sir. I now invite Arun Kumar Bopanna to speak. Sir, you've been placed in the meeting. Do switch your microphone on and speak. Sir, kindly unmute your microphone.
Can you hear me now?
We can now hear you, sir.
1 second, let me. Yeah. Good afternoon, everybody. I'd like to pay homage to Mr. Rahul Bajaj, whom I have met, and I'm very impressed with him. Homage to a corporate champion and homage to the Bajaj patriarch. He was neither for wealth nor power. He was for the country and its people. A lot of prestige is attached to his name. A lot of impact he made on others' life. May we be guided by his faith. May we take the light of his life. May we carry on his legacy. May his soul rest in peace. And I am a customer of your insurance, sir. All my family members, we have health insurance, car insurance with Bajaj Finance. I'm very happy with that. So the kind of service and the commitment you do, Sanjeev, you have a baritone voice, which I told you when we met in Pune a couple of years ago. You have strong leadership too. I'm sure you'll take it forward in a much better way, in a very controlled and systematic way, as Mr. Rahul Bajaj always wanted clean money. I wish you all the best with this. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Our next speaker is Arvind Vaikar. Sir, you've been placed in the meeting. Kindly unmute your microphone and speak.
Mr. Sanjeev Bajaj, the chairman of the company. Mr. Raju Jain, the managing director of Bajaj Finance Limited. and all the directors on the board and all my shareholders. My name is Arvind Vaikar. I'm calling from Ahmedabad, Gujarat. I would like to congratulate Bajaj Finance for actually getting upper layer NBFC classification. I've been investor. I'm holding Bajaj Finance shares for quite some time, and me and my wife put together and children put together, we are holding close to 3,300 or more shares of Bajaj, with the value of maybe over 2.5 crores rupees. In my portfolio, I feel that the Bajaj Finance has got the highest portion. Now, coming back to the Bajaj Finance, so far has given the highest percentage contribution in terms of, if you see, I'm happy about the past track record, the consistency in the profit growth, YOY and QOQ basis. Congratulations for giving the growth of around 35 to 65 CAGR over last 5 years. Now, my question is possibly repetition of some of the earlier shareholders have asked. With the competition increasing, especially the Geo Finance may become more aggressive after demerger, and HDFC Bank and HDFC Limited put together, the merger of these two, they become, I think, do you foresee any threat to your profit growth? My question is first. Second question is that can we expect the EPS growth of more than 35% YOY? What you have been, the past record has been that. So can we expect to have that continuation of that growth? Third, RBI may announce the decline in the interest rate within next few months that everybody knows about it. Will your profitability increase from this, or will you pass on your full reduction to the customer? One more question, one more request I am adding it. See, I am a shareholder of Bajaj Finance and I want to remain loyal to take the car loan or a housing loan and any personal loan. I don't see any advantage of becoming the shareholder of the company. I personally feel that some privilege should be given to the shareholders. Like if I want to buy a car, I normally would prefer to go to banks like HDFC or HDFC or whoever, the ICICI Bank, etc. I will not think of Bajaj Finance, though you are coming with for new car. So, I should come to my mind. I should first approach you once you decline. Second thing, I should get an advantage in terms of administrative fees or interest rate. It should be better than other. I must tell you that recently for a house for my son in Bangalore, I have opted for Bajaj Housing Finance Limited, and I am extremely happy the way the service has been provided, the communication has been given. I expect that your new car loan, I wish to go to you only, provided I get. I'm not talking about my asset. I'm talking about all the shareholders should get some benefit. Think on that. It is just a request. If you can do that, we'll be more loyal to you, and in turn, it will get more business to the company. I will not be going anywhere. I will not be even asking anybody. Like I'll tell you that housing finance means we were all throughout our life, we were thinking only of one HDFC Limited or HDFC Bank. That's all. We never thought of other things. Now, when I saw that Bajaj Housing Finance has come, the first step we took it that way, and we compared. Let me tell you that marginally we were better than HDFC. That is the reason I switched over. But as a shareholder, we must get something. This is just request, not anything. If you can consider, I will personally be obliged to. Thank you so much, sir. And I must tell you that your secretary, company secretary department is exceptionally good. They are so good that they take care. I interacted with your Aniket and other people, etc. But I personally feel that your video conferencing and management, everything is so superb. I attend a number of AGMs. I think that the management here is superb. Congratulations again, Sanjeevji and Rajivji. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Our next speaker is Ramesh Gola. Sir, you've been placed in the meeting. Kindly unmute your microphone and speak.
Okay. Is listening, sir?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Okay. Thank you so much, moderator, and very good evening. Our proudly saying my chairman. राजू बजाज सर, आपको, आपका साथी डायरेक्टर्स को, मेरा साथी वाला शेयर होल्डर्स को, सभी लोगों को नमस्कार सर, एंड गुड इवनिंग टू ऑल सर. Sir, Bajaj is one good brand, sir. Why? Because किधर भी जाओ, वो जो खरीदने के लिए जो हम जो खरीदता, जो ईएमआई में सभी लोगों को बहुत कंफर्ट से लेते सर. This is the proudly saying, sir. That too, sir. Our motto, our in future, क्या है? Or coming 2 years, please give me the roadmap, sir. That too, please, you don't go microfinances business, sir. Please, humble request, sir. Sir, वैसे हमारा जो I am Ramesh Shankar Gola, speaking from Hyderabad, sir. Sir, जो हमारा सेक्रेटरियल डिपार्टमेंट के बारे में बोलना है तो सुपर्ब सर, फैंटास्टिक. कुछ भी ना बोल के बोलने का भी नहीं है सर. इज इंटरेक्टिंग वेरी गुड सर. अनिकेत वन, ही इज वेरी नाइस गाय सर. जो आईसी लोगों में जो हमारा जो कंपनी में जो काम करता है, अच्छा नाम भी बढ़ता सर. किसी को प्रॉब्लम में नहीं आता, नहीं आएगा सर. दिस इज आई एम स्ट्रांगली सेइंग सर. वेरी गुड सर्विसेज सर. इनका बहुत अच्छा है सर. दैट टू आवर कंपनी सेक्रेटरी इज सो नाइस पर्सन सर. एंड कमिंग जो हमारे को जो फेस्टिवल आता, आपको सभी लोगों को विशेष सर, एडवांस विशेष सर. एंड गॉड ब्लेस यू ऑल सर. थैंक यू वेरी मच. एंड मेरे को पूरा सहमत सर आपसे, एंड जो अकाउंट से सभी सहमत है सर. आई एम सेइंग प्राउडली सर, आई एम ऑलरेडी वोटेड सर. Thank you so much for giving this very good opportunity to me, sir. Rajiv, sir. Have a good day, sir.
Thank you, sir. Our next shareholder registered to speak, Kirti Shah, has not joined the meeting. So we move on to Mr. Gaurav Rozatkar. Sir, you've been placed in the meeting. Kindly switch your microphone on, your camera on if you so desire, and speak. Sir, if you could kindly unmute your microphone. I do believe that we have an audio problem here, so we'll try and come back to Mr. Rozatkar. We move on to our next shareholder, Sunil Modak. Mr. Modak, you've been placed in the meeting. Kindly unmute your microphone and speak.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Good evening, sir. Very good evening, respected chairman, board of directors, managing director, company secretary, and fellow shareholders. Myself, Sunil Kumar Modok from Calcutta. I am feel very honored to be a member of Bajaj Finance Limited. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak on this occasion. Thank you very much. Thank you that the presentation made by the managing director is very fine, very knowledgeable and informative. Sir, one question is Bajaj Finance encountering several difficulties in expanding its operation due to steep competition in the home loan sector? Bajaj Finance commands a significant market share in MSME and personal loans among NBFCs, where banks are increasingly challenging their dominance. Sir, please consider to split the share so that it could be easily accessible and tradable. With this, I have already e-voting and all e-voting done in favor of Bajaj Finance. I hope that our company will do best coming days. With the best, thank you, sir. Namaste.
Our next shareholder registered to speak, Ravi Naredi, has not joined the meeting, and we shall now attempt to reconnect with Gaurav Rosatkar. Sir, you've been placed in the meeting. We can see you. Kindly unmute your microphone, sir, and speak. There appears to be a persistent technical problem here. With that, all shareholders who registered to speak and did log in have now been given an opportunity to express themselves, and I hand the proceedings back to the chairman. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, shareholders, for your suggestions, comments, and queries. I shall now request Rajiv, Sandeep, and Vijay to clarify the questions asked today and the ones sent to us earlier.
Thank you, shareholders, for your good wishes, for your questions. I'll try and answer question by question very quickly. There were overall 12 questions from 12 speakers. Questions are more, speakers were 12. I'll quickly start with question number 1, clearly from Srinidhi Bajoria on rural India growing rapidly over the next 5 to 10 years. What's the plan? You know, rural businesses now contributes to 10% of your portfolio, of the company's portfolio. We're launching MFI business in Q3, which is a rural business. Tractor financing is Q4, which is a rural business. Rural business, we all agree, is tremendous opportunity, but it clearly needs to build steadily rather than quickly. It's one thing that I would just articulate. We think from a 10% kind of contribution over the medium term, it could grow to around 12 to 14% is really how our outlook, given the new businesses that we're launching in rural India. You talked about microfinancing not being very successful. Mr. Ramesh Gola also had the same point. You know, MFI industry is now overall 4.8 lakh crore. That's the size of the AUM of MFI industry. And it's continued to grow despite the cyclical headwinds that it faces every 3 years. BFL as a company now is in 3,800 towns and cities, which pegs it very close to where MFI actually happens. It also helps that, given the rural business experience that we've had 10 years of experience in building rural business. And that's why we thought it was a logical and a rightful step to get into microfinance. We will start slowly. That's something that I would like to assure you. We're starting in Q3 only with 100 villages in 2 states in India, and scale as we gain experience. As I articulated, the philosophy of the company is to build businesses with a 10-year view. We're not building businesses with a shorter term view. So we would do whatever is the right thing for your company. Is something that I would like to assure you. Various people have asked questions on competition related to in our city, in Bombay, so on and so forth. If I summarize our stance as a company on competition, we are already in a highly fragmented, it's a very, very large sector. You're aware, both banking and financial services put together. In general, first point I would like to make is we don't like to comment on competition. Second, I would like to say, as I stated earlier, India represents a very large opportunity for long term in financial services. Third, our focus is to go up, realize the ambition of having 100 to 120 million consumers and take a disproportionate share of their wallet, as I articulated, in whether it's payments or it's lending or all financial services products. Lastly, I want to make a point from competition standpoint. Competition is not only growing, as as one of the other shareholders made a point, that there is increased competitive activity in general, leave the new participants. Having been at the transformation of the company for the last 16 years. I just want to make only one point, that financial services is all about talent. It's about risk management. It's about managing business over cycles. And it's about flawless execution. And I think that's been your company's key competitive advantage. And we want to continue to make sure that we sharpen this moat and stay focused on that. So that was from Sridhari, but I've covered the competition question for everybody, so I'm not going to repeat that. I'll try and go in order so that I can quickly cover. Question 2 was from Nandini Saraf. She talked about that I'd mentioned that we're a risk business. We are a risk business. As I said, even in my presentation, that we continue to have a strong risk culture. We are a risk-oriented business and a risk business. That's not set to change. You saw that in our GNPA, NNPA performance for FY23. You saw that in our FY24 Q1 performance. We continue to sharpen the pencil on all dimensions of risk on an everyday basis is what I would like to assure you. In terms of what does future look like, I outlined very clearly the medium-term outlook of your company. We remain very, very excited about the future prospects of your company. Despite having reached 2.7 lakh crore, the truth is we are only 1.7% of total credit in India. So the opportunity remains very, very large, and we as management continue to work hard to make sure that we grow our market share in financial services in all lines of business that we're in. To question number 3, just give me one sec. From I'm missing. I'll probably just. I missed a point. Question number 4 was from Sunil Kothari in terms of differentiation. Clearly, what is the differentiation? A 73 million franchise represents fully KYC'd, represents massive differentiation. Being present in 3,733 locations with boots on the ground represents differentiation. 40 million consumers in the app without spending very little money in last 18 months represents differentiation. So we continue to work hard to make sure that we continue to sharpen the pencil on differentiation, whether on risk management, talent, and managing all aspects of growth of business. Question number 5 was from Celestine Elizabeth. There were 2-3 questions. One was gold loan lending. How large? It's 1% of the portfolio. We are growing the business. It is possible we may end the year at being 1.5 to 1.8% of the total portfolio by FY24. So we are growing that business. We like the business. We've been at it for the last 5 years. As I said, we build business with any of you. You had a question on average age of employees. Average age of the employees has been constantly going down. The average age of the employee as of in FY23, as of FY23 was 28 years. How much business comes from app? Ma'am, we started to publish to the street quarterly by close to 17-18 areas of business that the app generates. We've also told the shareholders that even for web, we would start to publish metrics from Q3. So that's another point I would make. You had a question on competition. I've already responded. You had a question on future roadmap. I hope I've covered that through the medium-term outlook point that I made. Question number 6 was from Onkar Gogadre. Competition I've already addressed. You had a point on Bajaj Housing Finance, lower ROEs and lower ROA. I just want to make a point that BFL is all about sum of parts. As sum of parts strategy, we are committed to deliver on an aggregate basis 21 to 23% return to our shareholders on a sustainable basis. Mortgage business is integral to that sum of parts strategy. Its mandate as a business is to deliver lower risk and medium returns. It delivered 14.6% ROE, as you're aware, in FY23, meeting our ROE expectations from a benchmark standpoint. In addition, its GNP at 22 basis points and 8 basis points is the lowest in the mortgage industry. So overall, we are quite excited about the mortgage business. We are quite excited about the work what achievements your subsidiary, despite being only 6 years old, has achieved. Question number 7. Just give me one sec. Was from SP Besania on on MSL. I think that was on unclaimed dividend. That is a question. I mean, I would just leave after I finish, Vijay can answer that question. Question number 8. Please bear with me. Question number 8 was from Mr. Bopanna. In general, he remembered Mr. Rahul Bajaj, and we thank you for remembering him. He built a phenomenal legacy as a group. Question number 9 was from Arvind Vaikar on a set of questions on benefit to shareholders, sir. We used to offer higher deposit rates. We will seriously evaluate whether we can do that for loans as well. I'm not promising, but we'll evaluate. You had a question, can we deliver higher EPS growth? We just increase our guidance given our first quarter performance, increase our AUM growth guidance from 28-29% to 29-31%. Hopefully should result in higher profit growth as well. You had a question on cost of funds lag, sir, that I would just articulate that rates have gone up by 250 basis points. They will go down. It's hopefully in the next fiscal. I would just like to outline to you that cost of funds movement always comes with a lag. Rates went up last year, but the cost of funds are going up in the current year. So both upwards and downwards happen with a lag. Given the strong ALM management that your company and a diversified balance sheet profile your company pursues, despite a 250 basis point increase, the impact of cost of funds in FY23 was only 11 basis points. Sometime in FY24, we expect by exiting or FY25 early, we expect gradual moderation in our cost of funds is the point I would make to you. There's a question, Gaurav could not speak, but he had a specific query on he has a LAP loan with us, and his rates have gone up from 10.6% to 13%. He has a loan against property. His question was, he's being charged foreclosure. Home loans don't have foreclosure. Home loans don't have foreclosure. Loan against property do have foreclosure charges. So that's one point. Second point, he said that his rate has gone up. Or variable rate mortgages, most, if not all, have seen increase as a result of the repo rate increase. That has happened over the last 12 months. Despite the fact that we could not connect with him, I thought I'll take his question. Mr. Sunil Modak is the last one. I had a question on increased competition. As I've said, sir, we continue to work hard to make sure we set a set of objectives and continue to work hard to achieve them as a management team. And I'd like to assure you on that. With that, I would like to say thank you. I would just request Vijay or Sandeep to respond on the unclaimed dividend.
Good afternoon, shareholders. There was one question from Kirti Shah, who couldn't join the call. The question was, what is the ROE today and what do we foresee in a year or two? ROE for the last 10 years, barring the 2 years of pandemic, has remained range bound between 20 and 23%. For Bajaj Finance, ROE for the last year was 23.5%. The Q1 that we have announced just now is 24.5% again. As Rajiv mentioned, I think we have increased our guidance on return on equity from 19 to 21% to 21 and 23% for a medium-term period. There's a question on monetizing of assets in the current year or coming years. I think as we look at, I think India is a growth country. We are a growth-oriented company. We will rather focus on investing into our subsidiary companies and assets rather than monetize at this point in time. That's the point of view at this point in time. There was a question on that again was received on email from Mr. Nitin Jain. He has a question on dividend payout ratio of 17.7%, being lower than 19.1% in FY22. That the dividend has gone up versus last year by 50%. Last year it was 20 rupees per share. The current year recommended dividend is 30 rupees per share. I think from a distribution policy perspective, the company has policy to distribute between 15 and 25%. 17.7% is within that limit. And the board, of course, while considering the distribution of dividend, do look at profitability, do look at growth prospect and the capital requirement for growth in mind before deciding on the percentage. There's also a question in terms of distribution of deposits between retail and wholesale. Of the 44,600 crores of balance sheet of deposit that we had as on 31st March, 63% of that is retail, 37% is corporate deposit. There's one last question on the steps taken by the company to reduce unclaimed dividend. I'll request Vijay to answer that.
Thank you, Sandeep. Mr. Raspi, thank you for joining the meeting. And I have noted the comments of KFIN. This has to be discussed internally and we'll let you know. As regards the steps taken for reduction of unclaimed dividend, we send communications to the shareholders at the last known address. Also notify the details in the website where the shareholders can log in with the credentials and retrieve the necessary information. Apart from that, we also publish newspaper advertisements much before the actual date of transfer. In addition, wherever the contact details are available, we do reach out to them through emails and phone calls and request them to submit necessary documents so that we can help them in getting the dividend back. With that, I would hand over to Chairman, sir.
Thank you, Rajiv, Sandeep, and Vijay. And let me personally thank Mr. Bopana as well for his homage to our Chairman Emeritus. We continue to follow in his ideals. With that, members who have not yet cast their vote are requested to do so now. The voting facility will remain open for another 30 minutes. And the result of the voting, along with the scrutinizer's consolidated report, would be declared and hosted on the company's website and KFIN's website within 2 working days of conclusion of this AGM and shall also be filed with the exchanges. A recorded transcript will also be made available on the company's website as soon as possible. Subject to the voting, I declare the proceedings of the meeting as concluded. I thank you for participating at the meeting, and as I close, I pray for your good health and safety.